Hey everybody, this is Mike from Red's Raw Honey, and what we're going to do, I just want to let you know right now the reason for my channel, and what as far as for people who are thinking about getting into beekeeping, people who are just getting into beekeeping, we'll travel this journey together because this is my first full year of beekeeping. So what I want to do is just, we'll go through step by step what we do. We can all learn together. I think it'll help you decide if you want to get into beekeeping. And more questions you ask, the better it is. And then we'll get comments from very experienced beekeepers that'll help us along. But I will say this. I am going to join various bee groups. And you can ask a beekeeper a question and you will get 30 answers. I've even seen them get into verbal altercations on about my question I ask from two different people that will be fighting each other verbally. So it's kind of crazy, but it does happen. So just remember that. There's a lot of different ways of doing the same thing. So what I'm doing is today, we're going to start about in 2 weeks or 10 days. I'm getting 2 brand new NUCs in, 5-frame NUCs, which comes with 5 frames. They're full of brood, honey, nectar, larvae, pollen, and of course there's approximately 10,000 bees in it, give or take. So all ready to go, plus the queens in with the NUC. All right, there's the big thing. Much better than buying a box of bees. Box of bees is totally different. This NUC comes ready to go. The frames are there. You merely take the 5 frames and you put them inside your box. I'm running a 10-frame box. So you'll notice a lot of people don't put a feeder in theirs. I put a feeder in mine. When I catch ferals, I always put a feeder in. That really calms them down. Remember, your bees are in a box. They've been stressed. Hard telling where they were shipped from. So I've found it helps them calm them. And plus, it will stimulate them to start drawing comb, which is a big thing. The more comb you get, the better you'll turn out. So anyway, so I've got I use a 1-frame, 1-gallon feeder. The reflection you see is 1/8-inch wire that I put in there. It's much better than the top that came with it, which is this type of top. This right here, you'll drown more of your bees. I would never use one. I've got them in my hives, so I'm talking from experience. And what happens is the dead bees in there will draw hive beetles. They lay their larvae in there. So I don't even use these things. So I put them over here on my side and use them for something else. So it's open. Kind of hard to see with that reflective there, but they can climb down that mesh, climb up and down it, and they won't drown. And it's an open feeder. So that means I've got 9 spaces open. 5 of those spaces will be for the nucleus. So I need 4 more spaces. Now, I've got some drawn comb, which is what you'll like to use. But you'll see here, this was drawn comb, but there was some wonky areas up top. So I got my scraper, and I scraped all that out. See this side, how much I had to scrape. So what you need to do is, you need to re-wax it. And here's your best way. Go to Walmart, get you a little crock pot for 20 bucks. You want to get beeswax from a reputable online dealer or wherever. If you got somebody local, that's great. Support your local bee shop. But make sure it's 100% beeswax. Merely melt it down in the crock pot. And then I use a little roller I got from Lowe's. Let me get my hand out of the way. Got from Lowe's. And I merely dip it in there. And then I will roll it all over the area that I cut out. So I'm basically re-waxing this because the bees will not wax it or will not draw that. There's nothing to draw. And you'll notice, getting ahead of myself here, when you overwinter and you pull out some of your foundations in the spring, what happens is you'll see that they laid comb. There's some comb in certain areas and some are not. They'll chew that wax off through the winter time, and you won't be able to use it. So it's just a little. Now here's comb that's there already. I'm gonna go ahead and put some over top of that comb also, just like that. And we'll turn it over. A little dip. I'm gonna wax the comb first. This will really help the bees out, and they'll draw this out. You'll see some people use the bar wax and scrape over it, but this is much easier, and you can get a lot more wax on. So what you need to do is get 4 more frames ready. Of course, this one's ready now. Then you just put it inside. And I'm getting them ready because I'm going to have a knee operation on the 21st, and I'm getting my bees on the 17th. So I got to get my 2 hives all ready. I got to get everything, all my foundations ready. So when I pick them up on the 17th, they're all sitting out there. They're ready to go. All I got to do is put the sugar water 1-to-1 inside my feeder. Before I put my other frames in. Then I'll put the 5 frames from the NUC in very carefully, which we'll get to that part when it happens. And then put the rest of the bees in. Make sure your entrance reducer is down to the low setting, small opening, which is this. That'll help prevent robbing from other bees. And the bees will be more comfortable. They'll learn their spot. And once they're after a couple of days, you can open it up to the larger setting and they'll be all right. So you want to use the small setting. And that's about it, guys. So starting out. So hope that was some help. I didn't want you to get monotonous. Here's my frames I got to wax. There's another one. It's a little wonky. But drawn comb is your friend. You want to do this throughout the season. You want your bees drawn comb because when you're doing splits in the future, you need the drawn comb to help with the splits. A lot of times they don't like to draw out foundations later in the season, and when you got drawn comb, it's gold. You'll find that out. Every beekeeper will tell you that. You can't have enough drawn comb. So I saved my old drawn comb. I fixed my old drawn comb. It's good for a few years, and then you just get rid of it and start over. So I got to wax these, but I'm not going to go through all that with you. So if you have any questions, just give me a holler. I'm going to put a picture of Red on here, where Red's raw honey comes from. He's a rescue cat that I got. His name's Red, and I'll have his picture. Eventually, one of these days, I want to start a honey business and make honey, and it's going to be called Red's Raw Honey. But my goal this year, my first full year, is to build the colony. All the honey will go towards the bees, and I want a healthy colony. That's my #1 goal for the first year. You can't get in a rush. So that's what I'm doing this year, building up my colonies. I'm in a urban area, live in town, but I live in an old part of town. I got a corner lot. I'm cleaning up it outside. I'm planting a bunch of perennial stuff, perennial plants, perennial bushes, pollinators. So in a few years, the whole backyard will be just beautiful for the pollinators, so the bees can just have at it. But right now they're out foraging. My other hives I have in the back, they can fly anywhere from 3 to 5 miles depending on who you're talking to. But you just have to be careful. Make sure you're not around the field where they harvest and there's farmers, because they'll spray for them fields, and that's bad for the bees. As is if you're in the town and you have a mosquito sprayer. Mosquito sprayer will kill your bees. Make sure you contact your city and see if you can get the street department to not spray around near your house. It'd be very helpful. All right, guys, that's it from here. Please like, share, subscribe. Let's grow our viewership. I need one more person, and I'll be to a whole 100 subscribers. Whoopee. See y'all.